Hello students. In this session, we are going to talk about the theories of social stratification. So we basically started off with stratification and we have discussed various concepts related to stratification. So we understood what are differences and how differences will become inequalities and how inequalities will be considered as stratification and what are the process involved in stratification. All these things we have discussed in the previous session. Now here we are formally going to start the theories in sociology now. Okay, so the first three chapters, it's like all were dry topics and you might have faced some problem in understanding those concepts because it is for the first time that you are studying positivism, non-positivism and all those things. But now after we start with thinkers, even those concepts like positivism, non-positivism, etc. is going to be very easy for you because we are going to start with Durkheim. So he is actually a positivist, so you will more understand about positivism, and when we discuss about Weber you will have more idea about non-positivism, Weber, Mead, etc. Okay, so this chapter, that thinkers, that we are going to start in the next session. Today I am formally starting the theories, but this is not part of thinkers, and then thinkers chapter we will do it in a much better way. You will understand everything, you will not face any problem in any of the theories. Okay, in fact thinkers is my strong area, so after attending all these sessions I am expecting that it will be your strength also, that thinkers will be your strength also. Okay, so here we will be starting with social stratification. So some introductory paragraphs are written here, not that significant, not that relevant. Actually I am talking about some evolution of the social stratification theories. Social stratification was tried to understand even before sociology also, so that also I have actually incorporated here. So we are starting from Plato, Aristotle time to, we are also coming and covering up to modern context, that is a postmodernist approach also. Out of which what is required for you in exam is basically the three theories which are mentioned in your syllabus, that is functional theory of social stratification, Weberian theory of social stratification and conflict theory of stratification, which is given by Marx. Okay, so if you see here, what I will do is, my idea is basically, see this paragraphs that we have written, I've told you from before sociology to postmodernism, is like to give you a general idea about how the studies on social stratification emerged and what was that evolution. So in case if you get a general question apart from what is there in the syllabus, in a worst case scenario, that means even from the other options also you cannot answer the question, then you should have some content to write the answer, and that's the only purpose in which I am giving you this. And I don't want your complete concentration here, I just need only 20% of your concentration in my first 5 to 10 minutes of discussion, because I am talking about that. That's not important from your syllabus. Okay, so in case if a emergency comes, in a worse situation comes, then you should have some content. That's the only objective, that you can read towards the end and you can understand also. But after that we will be talking about functional theory, which is considered very, very important, and you get questions also. Even if question is asked on conflict theory, you need to talk about functionalism. Okay, so today we will be talking about functional theory and we will complete it. Functional theories, we will discuss three theory: Parson's theory, Davis and Moore's theory, and also Warner's theory. Apart from that, two more topics is there, that is conflict theory. That what I will do is I'll cover it along with Marx. It is a Marxian theory, so when we discuss about Marx separately, I will cover it there so that it will be easy for you to understand. Unnecessary repetition is not required, like I'm doing here and I'm doing there. So once we understood the concepts related to Marx, the theory is going to be very easy rather than discussing the theory here. Okay, similarly Weberian theory also we will be discussing under Weber separately, so that you can avoid a lot of confusion and you can make things easier. Once you understood Weber, it will be very easy for you to understand. Marx is talking about classes, right? Upper class, lower class, etc. Weber also talking about more than class. We will see everything, okay, in detail in the coming sessions. But in the chapter of stratification, in the theories, the three theory which is there in the syllabus, I will be talking about only functional theory at this point of time, and the other two theories we will be covering along with Marx and Weber. That's what I want to tell you. Okay, now we will start with this discussion. So when we start with this discussion, the first 5 to 10 minutes I'll briefly talk about what all things happened before. the sociological understanding. Sociological understanding fundamentally starts from Weber. Even Marx also is not a pure sociologist. Okay, he is more of a philosopher or a political scientist or an economist rather than a sociologist. But his concern towards sociology only because of that reason, and some of his theories are socially very, very relevant. Okay, so his concern towards society and social issues, we are considering him as sociologist. That's it. Okay, so we will see others also in detail. Now, I want to talk about first the Aristotle and Plato. So initial understanding is like Plato, Aristotle. So here they have actually understood the inequalities are something which is natural or permanent and is inevitable. It's like this: people are born unequal. By birth, people are unequal. When you are born with certain talent. Okay, like male, female. Male is so much muscular and they can do a lot of jobs outside, like that. Okay, so some inequalities are there which is natural and which is by birth they are unequal. Okay, so some talents or some abilities are there by birth. That is their idea. Okay, so these two actually propagate the concept that the inequalities are something which is natural, it is permanent and also inevitable. So that is their idea: natural, permanent and inevitable. Okay, so this is the first group, and after this some groups are coming, like Saint Thomas, Saint Augustine. You don't want to remember all these people, all these names. So Saint Thomas, Saint Augustine. I'm not talking about sociology or sociological understanding at this point of time. So that's why I've told you, even if you are not concentrating now, it's okay. I just need only 20% of your concentration. And later when we discuss about functional theory, then you can concentrate more. Okay, so Saint Thomas, Saint Augustine, according to them, inequalities are actually socially created, and it is created because of prestige, property, etc. Okay, so for them it is socially created. So now a new school of thought emerged which considers that the inequalities are something which is socially created. That is actually a deviation from the naturalist understanding of inequality. What is a naturalist understanding? It is something which is natural. It is something which is permanent and inevitable for Plato, Aristotle, etc. Okay, now a new school of thought which is deviated from there and trying to understand inequality as something which is socially created. Okay, socially created. Then after some time you will see Locke, Bentham, Brooke and Hegel, etc., Rousseau, all these people. We will be talking about all these people. In fact, I will be teaching your world history also. So in world history later we will cover all these thinkers in detail, and not only in world history, we will be talking about these people in your ethics paper also. In fact, ethics also I will be teaching you. So there we will cover about all these thinkers, but at this point of time these are not sociologists. We are not giving too much importance in sociology, but just understand that what is their opinion is Locke, Bentham, Rousseau, Hegel, etc. is of the opinion that some of the differences are naturally created. That means inherent differences are there, and some of them are socially created. That means acquired differences over a period of time, and it could be the combination of both also. It could be natural or social. So in their opinion, either it should be inherent or acquired or combination of both. Inherent means by birth you got some talent. Acquired means over a period of time you got some talent, or combination of both. You're born with talent and you got better education, and through that also you improved your talent. Okay, so that is their understanding, like Locke, Bentham, Rousseau, Hegel, Brooke. I'm not writing completely. We will have the PDF anyway. I'll be explaining with the PDF also, so you will not face any problem there. And in their opinion, inequalities are either inherent or acquired or the combination of both. Okay, now so here you can see first it's actually understanding it as natural, permanent, inevitable, then later socially created, then it is a combination. It is either natural or social or both. Now we will talk about Marx. When we talk about Marx, See, Marx is talking about, division of labor. Division of labor in all society, Marx is talking about division of labor, and those concepts we will discuss in Marx in detail, like ancient society, masters and slave; in feudal society, lords and serfs; okay, in capitalist society, workers and, capitalist or bourgeois and proletariat. But broadly, every society is based on haves and have-nots, or upper class and lower class. Okay, so, and exploitation of lower class by the upper class is common in all the societies. Okay, so Marx is talking about division of labor as the reason for this exploitation and this mechanism. Okay, so of grouping or strata. So division of labor is actually creating inequality, and division of labor is actually creating the contradictions and conflict. Why contradiction? Because if we talk about workers and capitalists, upper class and lower class, their interests are contradictory. Workers want to work for less time with more wages, better working condition, etc. But capitalists don't want to provide that better working condition because it is unnecessary expense and not good wages, and they need more time of the workers also. So these are, in fact contradictory, but they are cooperating, which is an antagonistic cooperation according to Marx, and that result into conflict ultimately. Okay, so, and what is the solution for this inequalities and this problem? Communist society, which is a utopian concept, and we will discuss about all those things in detail, but I'm saying here this is the theory all about. Okay, so Marx is talking about inequality because in terms of division of labor. Then comes Weber. Now, the advantage or the speciality in Weber is, when we talk about Marx, it's a monodimensional understanding or a monocausal understanding or a one-dimensional understanding. Marx is only talking about class and division of labor. But when it comes to Weber, Weber is talking about not only class. He's talking about class as one of the dimension of stratification. He's also talking about status and power. Okay, so these are the three dimensions of stratifications which you can see, and Weber is stressing or understanding a multidimensionality of pattern. Okay, multidimensional pattern of stratification is what he is trying to understand, like this. If suppose you need to be powerful, let's suppose this is class, this is status, and this is power. So you need to be at this stage if you need to be more powerful. Otherwise, if you have status, here you may have status. As a Brahmin, you may have status, but economically you may be poor. Okay, and you may stand here. Economically, you may be poor. Politically, you may not have power. So here is where you stand. That is not that powerful. You might have status. Similarly, you might be economically good, but you may belong to a very lower caste. So you don't have the status, and you may not have the power also, but you have money. So you stand here like that. So this is a very good understanding, very good interpretation of inequality and stratification. We will discuss this in detail. So here these two, Marx and Weber, these are theories that you need to study. Now after this, we need to study about functionalist, and today we will do that, structural functional theory. So structural functional theory means what? Functionalism, you understood, trying to see everything in terms of function. Whatever is existing in society is necessarily fulfilling certain vital functions for the society, and that's the idea of the functionalist. When we talk about structural functionalism, means it is functional for a particular structure. For example, when we talk about caste system, we can't study caste system in European societies. So when we study the functional aspects of the caste, it's a structural functionalist perspective is what M.N. Srinivas is using. We will be studying about that again later, but as of now I'm saying is it is a study of or understanding functions in terms of a particular structure. So this is functional for this particular structure. Caste system is functional maybe for this particular structure, like that. That's what I mean by structural functionalism. To the functionalism, you are adding that structure. Normally it was understood as universal functionalism, but here we are talking about structural functionalism. For a particular structure it is function. Okay, so all these perspectives, structural functionalism, conflict perspective, Weberian perspective, everything we will study when it comes to thinkers, and you will understand every perspective and methods, everything in a much better way. Okay, you will not face any problem in sociology, I guarantee you. So don't worry about these words. Okay, so structural functional approach related to study of social stratification. So what they do, they will try to justify inequality. They'll try to highlight the functions of inequality. They try to say that it is fulfilling certain vital functions for the society, and that's what exactly we are going to see today. Okay, so then later you can see postmodernist approach. You know what postmodernist says? currently you cannot see too much inequalities. Inequalities are actually, no, inequalities is too much, but the pattern of inequalities is not there. Pattern of inequalities are reducing, but individualized inequalities is more. Society is getting more and more complicated. Society is getting more and more individualistic. So individual inequalities are more than a group or a pattern of inequalities. So it is very difficult to understand pattern of inequalities. So the study of stratification itself is not important now. Okay, so that is the understanding of postmodern concept. For example, when we talk about society, what do you mean by pattern with respect to class? Upper class, lower class and middle class. Do you think nowadays can we say can we make only 3 divisions? Within middle class, do you think all these people, if at all you make this division, do you think all the people of middle class live exactly the same lifestyle or the same salary or the same education, same occupation? No. Within middle class, you can see upper middle class, middle class and lower middle class. Further, if you take this middle class, you can see upper middle class, middle class, lower middle class. So minute difference is also possible. Earlier that was not the case when we talk about 1920s, 30s and 40s. Then you can say upper class, middle class, lower class. So these 3 stratas is enough. But now if you need to understand that this 3 stratas is not enough. So the concept of stratification is very difficult now because you cannot pattern people properly. Even when we talk about Brahmins, earlier Brahmins almost all will show the same characteristics and properties. But now the Brahmins within them are totally different. Okay, so I hope you understood. So the stratas are diffusing, so they actually rejected the study of stratification. So this is the broad idea of theories of stratification. Now what we need to do is we need to discuss about functional theory. So we'll start with Parson's theory, which is a very simple theory. Then we will move to Davis and Moore theory. Davis and Moore theory is like this. He come up with certain propositions and then some other person, Melvin Tumin, will oppose those propositions. Okay, so he raised certain objections and then Davis and Moore will clarify that objections. So these are the 3 parts in which you need to write that theory. Apart from that, criticisms will be there, Marxian criticisms, etc. will be there, that we will see in the critical analysis. And then we will also see the theory of Warner, which is also very simple. So Parson's theory and Warner's theory will never be asked as specific questions, separate questions. When the question is asked on functional theories of stratification, you need to write all these. Okay, and Davis and Moore theory is slightly lengthy. That can be asked, that in fact asked many times, many times asked as separate question. Okay, so let's get started with functional theories of social stratification. Very easy, you will understand everything. In case if you have any doubt, you can get in touch with me here. That's my Instagram ID. You can join the Telegram channel, you'll get all my videos over there. You can get in touch with me over phone. This is my number 9790-892-697. For my complete online classes or regular classes, for test series, you can write the test with me. Not only optional sociology, you can write GS also. Any help which you need for civil services, you can get in touch with me. Okay, so we will start now with the functional theories. So first we will discuss about Parson. Okay, so Parson's theory is like this. Just understand, it will be very easy. You just need to note down these key points that I'm saying. Then you can put it in your own words, and so that you can write a very beautiful answer. So what Parson says is a society is based on consensus. Any society is based on consensus, and these consensus are in the form of or in terms of norms and values. So society is based on consensus. Society is based on consensus, which are in terms of norms and values. Now, what do you mean by norms? Norms are the expected behavior. We have discussed it already in the introduction. Values are the ideas through which you decide the desirability and undesirability of a particular phenomena. For example, if you carry a patriarchal value, what is desirable for you? A male child will be desirable for you. A male child is considered superior. A male child is considered desirable. Okay, male child is preferred. That's what you mean by patriarchal value. Values decides desirability and undesirability of anything. So that is something which you carry in your mind. Okay, and norms are the expected behavior. How as a teacher I should behave, and how as a student you should behave. For example, when you go for a marriage, you should not be wearing a white sari. It's a norm. Okay, so it's not expected that you will wear a white sari in a marriage. You understood the reason. Okay, so here society is based on consensus. Like between us there is a consensus. What is that? I'll teach you the sociology and you will be studying. These are the consensus, right? It is all based on consensus. So and it is based on norms and values. What is expected? What is the expected behavior from me? I'll teach it. I'll teach in a proper way. I'll refer to all the best textbooks and I'll teach you in a proper way. And what is the norm which is expected from the student? You will study whatever I'm teaching. Okay, so like that, everywhere these norms and values are there. And what do you mean by violation of norms? If I violate the norm, can you punish me? Can you take legal action? No, we don't have any legal agreement or anything. I'm not legally bound to teach you. Okay, so violation of norm, or if you're not studying, can I punish you? I don't care. Why should I care for that? Okay, so why? Because we don't have any legal commitment. So if you're violating norm, it is considered as deviant or anomy. But if you're on the other hand, laws are something which if you violate, there will be punishment and you will be considered as a criminal, right? So that is the difference between norms and laws. Laws cannot be violated. Okay, norms are also not expected to violate, but even in case if you violate, no punishment in case of norm. In case of law, punishment. Law violation is actually a criminal offense. Norms violation is actually considered as deviant activity. Okay, so I hope you understood. Now, society is based on consensus, which are in terms of norms and values, and everybody will try to conform to these norms and values. Among ourselves also, in this group, we are always trying to conform to norms and values. Okay, and not only trying to conform to norms and values, people try to evaluate themselves on the basis of their conformity towards norms and values. Like you will evaluate yourself whether you are studying properly, etc. And society also evaluate your members in terms of conformity to norms and values. And those who are conforming to norms and values will be rewarded properly. And social stratification is nothing but a system which is ensuring the proper rewards to the people, or based on their ability or based on their intent and ability, if you're following the norms and values. So that's the theory, very simple theory. I'm saying again in quick. Okay, so social stratification is like this. So every society is based on consensus. Consensus is required. Without that, society cannot survive. And what is this consensus? These are in the form of norms and values. There are expected behaviors, and people try to conform to these norms and values, and people try to evaluate themselves on the basis of conformity to norms and values. And these conformity to norms and values is considered highly desirable and will be evaluated also, and you will be rewarded if you conform to those properly. Okay, and that's how stratification is coming. So that's a very simple theory of social stratification. Next is a lengthy one, but even then it is very simple only. Davis and Moore. I have told you 3 steps are there here. Davis and Moore, 2 people. So three steps, like Davis and Moore make some propositions. So we will see that Melvin to means objection and the clarification given by Davis and Moore. So these are 3 stages in which you need to write this theory. So first, this theory is in the book Some Principles of Social Stratification 1942 in the form of certain propositions. Let's see that proposition. So these are logical and very easy, and you can connect it to yourself also. So the propositions are like this. The first thing that he's saying is society is made up of certain positions. Yes, every society is made up of certain positions, and some of these positions are functionally more important than others. Yes, the positions, some positions like IAS officers or chief secretary post and collector post. Which one is more important? Chief secretary. DGP post and superintendent of police. Which one is more important? DGP. So who will get more rewards? DGP, chief secretary, etc. will get more rewards than the others, right? So society is made up of certain positions, and some of which are functionally more important than others, and more rewards are attached to those functionally more important position to attract the talented people, because you need to fill the most important positions with the most talented people. So I hope you understood. Society is made up of positions. Some are functionally more important, and that itself show you the stratified order of society. And the more important positions has to be filled with the most talented people. So more rewards are attached to that more important positions to attract the talented people. Otherwise, nobody will come. Why you want to become IAS and IPS? Because the more privileges, more rewards, etc. is there. It is not because you are going to do some social service. If at all you are going to say in interview, if somebody is asking you why you want to become an IAS or IPS, if you are saying social service, and that's not a good answer. In fact, this question was asked to many. I also faced this question. So what you need to say is you have something more to say. If you are simply saying social service, then you can join some NGO and you can do it better. Why you want power to do social service? You can do social service in other way also. You don't want to do all this hard work, you don't want to prepare, you don't want to waste all this time to do social service. All this time also you can do social service. Okay, so that's not your reason, right? Why you want to become IAS and IPS? Simple, because of the privileges and the rewards which are attached to it. That you're going to get, and that's why you are looking for this, right? So what Davis and Moore saying was very simple. Society is made up of positions. Some are functionally more important than others, and functionally more important positions are to be filled with the talented people, and to attract the talented people, more rewards are attached. And to attain the talent, people undergo training and sacrifices, like what you're doing now. You are attending these classes, your time you are spending for that, and your other functions and many other things you are ignoring, marriage functions, many other functions you are ignoring, and you are making a lot of sacrifices, right? So exactly this is what Davis and Moore also saying. So society is made up of certain positions. Some are more important, okay? Some are more important, and more important positions require talented people. So you need talented people, and high rewards are attached to attract the talented people. See, if those benefits are not there, I don't think that any one of you are ready to do this much of sacrifice to become IAS and IPS. Okay, so that is why, so rewards are attached to these positions to attract the talented people. So the people will undergo training and sacrifices to attain the talent. Training and sacrifices, like what you are doing here. You are over the night, you are attending the classes. Okay, so all these things are basically to, to get IAS and IPS, right? Because more rewards are there. You are looking for the rewards more than the social service. Okay, and everybody like that only. So training and sacrifices. And finally, what is social stratification? Social stratification is effectively or actually a system which ensures that the most functional positions in the society is filled with the most talented people. Okay, so in that process you are offering rewards. When you're offering rewards, there will be a social stratification. So social stratification is actually a system which ensures that the most important positions in the society is actually filled with the most talented people. Okay, so society is made up of certain positions. Some are functionally more important than others, and the functionally more important positions are required to be filled with the most talented people. So you attach certain rewards to that position so that you will get the talented people. You can attract the talented people to that position. Okay, and then what you can say, for this people undergo training and sacrifices, and you will acquire the talent. So social stratification is nothing but a system which ensures that the most important positions are filled with the most talented people. Now we will see the objections raised by Melvin Tumin. Melvin Tumin raised certain objections in this context. What he said is, see, you are talking about functionally important positions, right? But how can you judge the relative importance of a position? I am talking about a position of teacher and a doctor. How can you tell that which one is more superior here? Without a teacher, you cannot be a doctor. And without a doctor, a teacher cannot survive. So which one is more superior here? That involves value judgment. Okay, so the first question raised by Melvin Tumin is how to judge the relative importance of a position. So, how to judge relative importance of a position. Second objection he raised is how to measure the talent of the people. You are measuring the talent of the people. You required talented people. So how to measure the talent of people? For example, when we talk about IAS IPS, is this exam actually measuring the talent of the people? Or if you talk about CAT exam, is it actually measuring the talent which is required? No, that is actually a question. That is again a subjective question. How to measure talent of the people? Okay. Thirdly, what he is saying is rewards can be considered functional only if you provide equal opportunity to all in terms of education, in terms of recruitment, in terms of training and everywhere. Now here in our society, that is not the case, right? Everybody is not getting equal opportunity. Lower class and upper class, their opportunities are different. Lower class, son of lower class will not get access to everything. Son of upper class will get access to everything. So he can be, achieve that top position very easily. Like in terms of better education, better healthcare, better access to everything. Okay. So even though we are talking about open system, even though we are saying that it is open to all, but still there are a lot of practical hindrances a poor person cannot achieve. Okay, so he is saying if equal opportunity is provided to all, then we can consider it as functional. Otherwise, we can't say it is functional. For example, if you need to attend a UPSC, if you want to become IAS and IPS, a poor person, it is very difficult. Rich person, you can go to Delhi and you can attend a GS class. You need to pay around 1.5 lakhs. Okay, and then optional, you need to pay another 50,000. So 2 lakh is gone. And then apart from that, you need to have stay expenses on stay, food, the hostel expenses, the traveling expenses, and the materials, notes, and all these, right? So a lot of expenses there. At least 3 lakh you need to spend, or 3 to 4 lakhs you need to spend per year, or more than that. Okay, so is it possible for a poor person? No. Nowadays, everything is revolutionized because of this YouTube and videos, and everybody is doing videos. Okay, so you can get access to all these classes. Otherwise, do you think you will be attending these classes like this? You will not be attending, right? Because of this YouTube and everything, now there are changes. Now everybody have access to it. So to an extent, it is solved, but even then, there are problems. Okay, so no equality of, equal access to opportunities are not there for everyone. Okay, so like even now also not everyone have the mobile phone, not everyone have the capacity to recharge, right? So still there are problems, but let's not get into that. What I'm saying is his point is like this: rewards can be considered functional only if you give equal opportunity to all. So 3 criticisms related to the position, importance of position, and to judge the talents, and related to rewards also. And what he's saying is, people don't undergo training and sacrifices much. Only maybe a suspended earning during the time of training. Otherwise, not much sacrifices. And most of the time, sacrifices or the income, the expenditure will be taken care by the parents only. And then what he's saying is, the stratification in society is actually, there is a disintegrating influence. Okay, it is creating hostility and distrust among the people. So these are the criticisms raised by Tumin. Few are logical. The first 3 especially are logical. Okay, now how Davis and Moore reacted to it, or how Davis and Moore addressed this, is like this. He said, it is difficult to judge the importance of a position, but it is not impossible. What you can do is, you can judge the relative importance of a position in terms of 2 criteria. By the degree to which the position which is in question, okay, let's suppose we are talking about doctor and IAS officer. Okay, so you can understand the importance of this. How? You can see which one is more unique by the degree to which this position is more unique. Which one is more unique? IAS officer or a collector is more unique. In a district, if you take, you will have only 1 collector, but so many doctors are there. So which one is more unique? In that way, you can judge the importance. Secondly, the importance can be also understood by the degree to which other positions are depending on the one in question. So if you are talking about doctor and an IAS officer, the other positions depend more on which one? IAS officer, the collector, right? The entire district depends on that collector. Maybe a lot of doctors are there for the people in the district. So in this 2 way, you can actually judge the relative importance of a position. It is difficult, but not impossible. Okay, similarly, if you talk about IAS officer and doctor, it might be easy for me to convince you. But if I talk about doctor and teacher, you may be confused here. Right? Who's more unique here? I would say doctor is more unique, because anybody can be a teacher nowadays, but anybody cannot be a doctor. Like, I am an accidental teacher. Similarly, everybody can be a teacher, but everybody cannot be a doctor. So I think doctor is more unique. Okay, so I hope this is understood. Okay, so that is the answer given. Then what he said is related to rewards. Rewards are considered necessary, because in case of unskilled work, you don't want to attach too much rewards or anything. But if it is more important positions, rewards are necessary, because people have to undergo a lot of training and sacrifices. So if no rewards, nobody will be there. Okay, again, towards the last point, what he is saying is, it may be dysfunctional, it may be having disintegrating influence, but the fact that it is there in all societies shows that it is functional and it is inevitable. Okay, so that's how we concluded. So this is all about the Davis and Moore theory. Now what we can do is, we can move to the PDF and we can explain with the help of the PDF. I hope you understood everything that we have discussed so far. So we will move to the PDF now. Okay. So we basically started off with that evolution. I'll talk about that in brief. Okay. So it is often argued that some forms of inequalities are present in every society. Understanding the pattern of inequalities has been the concern of intellectuals since ancient times. Apart from the academic text, the socio-religious writings often contain views on these patterns. With the emergence of sociology as a distinct discipline, this subject came within the purview of sociological investigations. Ancient philosophers like Plato and Aristotle theorized about the patterns of inequalities. According to Plato, social inequalities exist in every society in terms of natural differences, that is, people are born unequal. Some people are naturally equipped for performing certain functions in society. Plato envisioned three classes, that is, guardians, auxiliaries, and workers. Similarly, according to Aristotle, the inequalities are natural and there is a natural rank order among them. These theories thus consider the pattern of inequalities as natural, permanent, and inevitable. Okay? During Renaissance period, the alternative approach towards understanding the pattern started. St. Thomas and St. Augustine for the first time attempted to understand the hierarchical order in society in terms of power, property, prestige. With this, an intellectual tradition favoring understanding of inequalities in social terms started. This is terms. Apart from the naturalist explanation of inequality, a new school of thought emerged which favored the understanding of inequalities as socially created. Later philosophers like Locke, Bentham, Rousseau, and Hegel were aware of emergence of the social classes based on either inherent differences, that means natural, or acquired differences, that means social, over a period of time you acquired, or the combination of both. Rousseau talked of social inequalities as created by system of private property. Okay, Marx further added dimension of division of labor in the understanding of social inequality. According to him, social stratification or inequality emerged because of contradiction, and these inequalities generate conflict. He even conceptualized a society which is free from such inequalities and termed up as communist society. After the middle of 19th century, sociological understanding of inequality started. Max Weber proposed a Trinitarian model, highlighted three important dimensions, that is class, status, and power, and emphasized on understanding the multidimensionality of the patterns. We have discussed it. In the first half of 20th century, a new set of theories favoring structural functional approach towards the understanding of patterns of inequalities emerged in the writings of famous American sociologists like Parson, Moore, and Warner. According to this approach, inequalities were seen as fulfilling some vital functions in the proper organization of society. During 1950s and 60s, attempts were made to combine Marxian and Weberian approach in the writings of Eric Olin Wright. Wright further added new dimensions in understanding stratification by talking of contradictory class locations. By the end of 1980s, postmodern understanding of social stratification conceptualized a society in which stratas are diffusing and inequalities are confined to individual or the group level. These theorists proposed the end of theories of social stratification itself. This approach is highlighted in the writings of Baudrillard and Bach. We have discussed this much. So I don't think this will be useful for you because this is having no connection with the syllabus. But if you need to have some idea about that evolution, you can keep this in mind. In case in a worst case scenario, if the question is asked and you don't have any other option also to write, even your options are also not helping you, then you can go with it. Okay. Now we will move on to the structural functional theory. Structural functional theory of social stratification are based on the assumption that it fulfills certain vital functions in the context of the structure and is both inevitable and necessary. Importance of stratification is emphasized on account of existence of stratification in all societies. Talcott Parson formulated an initial theory of stratification which is considered as very simple and broad. More detailed theories of stratification is found in the writings of Davis and Moore and W.L. Warner. Okay, Talcott-Parsons theory. We have discussed already, there are consensus in the form of norms and values, and confirmation towards this is considered desirable, and people always try to conform to that, and people try to evaluate that. So that's all we are going to discuss here. So according to Talcott-Parsons, every society is based on consensus in terms of norms and values. The conformity to these norms and values is considered desirable and is often rewarded. People tend to evaluate themselves in terms of their ability to conform to these norms. Thus, social stratification is a mechanism of ensuring people that they have been given a particular position as per their intent and ability. I hope this is clear. Now, Davis and Moore theory. The theory is formulated in the famous book titled Some Principles of Social Stratification. You need to write the name of the book. In terms of number of propositions explaining systematically the differential distribution of rewards in society. According to them, different distribution of rewards is a reflection of a stratified society and helps in perpetuating it. Because of rewards, it helps in continuation of that rewards. If no rewards, nobody want to achieve that top position. Okay. If no rewards and privileges, you don't want to become IAS and IPS. Exactly like this, because of rewards, it is continued like that. At one point of time, if privileges, rewards, etc. is taken, then nobody want to become the top class. Okay. Society is made up of different positions, some of which are functionally more important than others. These positions develop a view of stratified society. That's the first point. High rewards are attached to the positions of great importance in order to attract talented people needed for such position. Important positions require skill and training. Those who undertake this training make certain sacrifices and therefore have to be compensated by the way of more rewards. Social stratification is a mechanism of distribution of rewards in order to fill functionally more important positions with talented people. So I hope it is clear. Thus, stratified positions which are witnessed in every society are important for the proper organization of society. Moreover, there is no society which is based on unstratified social position. In reaction to this theory, Melvin Tumin raised certain objections. How to judge the relative importance of a position? First objection. Okay, it involves value preference. Rewards can be considered as functional only if society provides equal opportunity to all. Means in terms of education, in terms of training, in terms of recruitment, everywhere. There is no effective method for measuring talent of people. Trainees do not make any sacrifices except the suspended earning during training period, and generally the cost is taken care by the parents. There can be alternative motivational scheme instead of differential rewards. And what is this alternative motivational scheme he is not talking about? Okay, social stratification actually hinders the process of integration of society by generating hostility and distrust among the privileged and underprivileged. Okay, now the clarification part from Davis and Moore. Davis and Moore further clarified their theory of social stratification in the light of objections raised by Tumin. The further arguments given by Davis and Moore are: it is difficult but not impossible to judge the functional importance of a position. A particular position can be evaluated using two criteria. First one, by the degree to which the position is functionally unique. I have told you IAS officer, doctor. Which one is more unique? IAS officer at any point of time. Okay. Even many doctors are also trying to become IAS officers. By the degree to which other positions are dependent upon the one in question. Okay. Rewards are necessary to motivate people to undergo training as it involves time, energy and money, which is not required for unskilled tasks. Moreover, trainees have to undergo a lot of hardships during training. So you can see point by point he is countering that. Okay. Then regarding alternative motivational scheme, he is not clear about that. Davis argued that modern society cannot function if people are left with whatever they wish to do. It will create imbalance in society. So that is not possible. Social stratification may be dysfunctional in certain aspects, but the fact that it is universally present shows that it must be fulfilling certain functions and is inevitable social reality. This is a counter for the last point. So that's it. That's about the theory. So Davis and Moore proposition, Melvin Tumin objection, and the clarification. Now there are some general criticism for this theory. That is what we are going to discuss now. In case if you get a critical analysis question, what we have done now is theory. Okay, that Melvin Tumin objections were part of the theory. These are the criticisms. Although this theory has been acknowledged as a valid sociological theory of stratification, still it suffers from number of logical errors. They include: this theory is more suitable for understanding class stratification. Other forms of social inequalities cannot be explained with this theory. For example, gender stratification is not based on functional importance of position. Rather, the gender inequalities are imposed by culture, right? So you can study only class stratification. You can't study these stratification like race. You can't study by this. Okay, it is not based on functions and functionally important position. Ethnic stratification we can't study by this. We have discussed about all these stratifications. So we can't study all these. Only class stratification it could be applied. That is a limitation. Second, this theory applies more on open stratification system. The rigidity of caste system cannot be explained with the help of this theory. Okay? This theory is based on unrealistic assumption of equal opportunities, whereas in reality, a number of factors like parental background, infrastructure, culture, etc. hinders equality of opportunity. We have discussed that point. Next, Davis and Moore theory cannot justify inherent exploitation generated by distribution of rewards. According to Marx and later Marxists, the distribution of rewards are actually controlled and managed by the dominant classes to satisfy their own interest. Yes, the upper class is managing this everything, and they are giving it to the upper class only to satisfy their own interest only. Thus, stratification is not fulfilling the interest of the society, rather it fulfills the interest of few. This view also has been supported by elite self-recruitment theory. We will discuss this in the chapter of politics and society. Very important theory. Why the son of IAS officer is becoming an IAS officer. Why the son of a doctor is becoming a doctor. Like that. This is what elite self-recruitment theory. We will discuss that in detail. This theory is little relevant in postmodern society as the strata-based inequalities seemed to be disappearing. Postmodernists claim that the existence of individualized inequalities rather than strata-based inequalities. Okay, we have discussed that point already in the beginning. Warner, in his famous book Yankee City, while reporting social classes based on status or lifestyle in few American communities, developed a different justification for existence of social stratification. So this is Warner's theory, a very simple theory similar to Parson. He's saying people are compartmentalized like this. And all these are understood as different strata, and each of these having people with different culture. So you are compartmentalized on the basis of culture, so it actually helping in the maintenance of the culture. Okay, so there won't be any problem between two people. Intergroup conflict would also be avoided. That's what he's saying. So according to him, various social stratas are generally separated into relatively distinct segments that have more or less a balanced and integrated culture. So it is based on culture. Thus, these stratas ensure cultural stability, and that's the most important function here. Cultural stability in society by compartmentalizing people on the basis of different culture. This reduces the chances of intergroup conflict. Okay, so people are compartmentalized on the basis of culture. That will reduce the intergroup conflict, and that will obviously help in the cultural stability also. You will interact with only the people in your group like that. Okay, so I hope you understood. You don't want anything else to read for this particular theory. We have done it completely. So still, if you have any doubt, you can get in touch with me here. That's my Instagram ID. Join the Telegram channel. You can call me. This is my number 9790-892-697 or 989-55-77775. Okay, so you can get in touch with me in any of this. If you need test series, if you need any help related to civil service preparation, not only in sociology, in GS also, please feel free to call me. Okay, so see you guys. Thank you. So that's about the session. I hope you understood everything that we have discussed today. If you have any doubt in any of the videos that we have discussed so far, you can get in touch with me here. That's my Instagram ID. Okay, or you can join the Telegram channel. You will get all my videos over there. Everything is there. Or you can see here, this is the Telegram channel, or this is the Instagram ID. These two are my Facebook page. You can get in touch with me in any of this. If you want to learn economy with me or history with me or general studies, any subjects, you can, if you need regular classes, you can get in touch with me, or the online classes are available with Study IQ. You will get all those classes. Still, you will get my YouTube videos in this Telegram channel. Okay. So I hope you understood everything that we have discussed. So see you guys. Thank you.